So let's see how to do that. First assignment from Basic Skills 3, which was in Anki, add the United States deck from Anki Web. So I'm going to try and do this. And so if we go over to Chrome, let's see where we go. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. So we get a new tab, and we say, go to Anki Web. So it's Anki Web that we're going to, ankiweb.net. So we go in there. Okay, and so it's in my account, but I don't think it matters. So the place you have to go is Get Shared Decks. Okay, so we go to Get Shared Decks. And in there you can see there's many different things, and languages are especially popular, and also studying for science. The med students and pre-meds do that. But we're going to do USA States. So we're going to try that, USA States. Okay, and the one that we want is USA States right here. And you'll see that under images there's 50 images, which is what you would hope to see there, 50 notes, 50 images. And so when we click on that, and we look and we say, okay, and this is the one that I want, so it has a map, and so on the US map it highlights, for example, North Carolina or Alaska. So this is what we would want to do, and so we're going to download this file. Okay, so I'm doing it on my Mac, so here I've downloaded it, and I'm going to show it in Finder, but you could also show it in your downloads file. So it's in my downloads file on the Mac, and I'm going to double click on it. So I'm double clicking, and it's going to say where do I want it to import it to, and so let's import it into Soren's deck, because I know it's not in Soren's deck. So we'll open Soren's account, and we go in, and we'll see that it now has the USA States there. Okay? And what we want to do is we see where its default is. We're going to move it. We're going to move it underneath the default. So now when Soren studies his default deck, he'll get all his things there. And that D16 study deck, we don't really need that, so we can get rid of it. Okay, so here we are, and we've got the United States. Well, let's see what that deck looks like. So let's study it now. Okay, and so we look and we say, oh, there's, what is that? Well, maybe it's Alabama. So remember, you can just hit the space key. Okay, so it's Alabama. So that was pretty easy for me, so I'll say good. Next one, Alaska. Well, that's really easy. So I could even say easy on that and click easy. Arizona, my sister lives there, so that's easy. So I'll say easy. Arkansas, not quite so easy, so that's just good for me. And so on. And you go through in California, right? So I lived in California, so that's an easy one for me. Good. Okay, so that one, not quite so easy. That must be Colorado, right? So it's next to Kansas, Colorado. Okay, so Colorado. That one used to be hard for me until I married my wife, who is from Maine. So I go through Connecticut quite a bit. So it looks like it must be Connecticut wedged in there. So I say, okay, I know that one. Okay, so Connecticut. And then, well, that's one that you might not know. It's just Delaware. So we say Delaware, Florida. Okay. Now, is it going to go through all 50 states? No. So Georgia, okay, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas. Okay, so we got Kentucky, got Louisiana, got Maine, Maryland, I guess there, right? Maryland, Idaho. So now you see it's going to start Kentucky. It's going to start Arkansas. So the first time you do want a new deck, it's going to give you everything twice. California, so Indiana. So it's not going to give you all 50. Now it introduced a new one, Louisiana. It mixed that in with Connecticut, which we already had. Georgia, we already had. Hawaii, we already had. Alabama, we started with. Maryland, Delaware, Maine, Iowa, Kansas, Florida, Illinois. Okay, so we finished that. Notice how it didn't give us everything the whole time. So if you look at your decks, now under USA States, there's none due, there's none new. Whereas for the other one, there's some due. Okay, so what do? We studied 38 cards in 2 minutes. Okay, so that is what we want to do. We want to get that USA States in. It's something that you really want to it's knowledge that you want to know. It's not something you want to have to look up. You want to know where our United States states are. That Anki deck is an excellent way to do it, because over time there'll only be a few that you have trouble with, maybe Vermont and New Hampshire. I remember I used to have trouble with those two, again, until I started going up to Maine every year. Now it's a lot more clear to me where those New England states are. But it's something that you want to know. If you know them all, it's very easy. If you don't, it gives you good practice. As I say, you only practice the ones that are hard for you. That's the advantage of Anki.